to my channel. Today I figured that we would eat a quick lunch together to talk about some of the books that I've been reading. I am starving. I am at that point of hunger where I am shaking and my stomach feels weird and I feel queasy. I would have eaten earlier, but if I'm being honest, we had a guest in my house that I wanted nothing to do with or interact with, so I just didn't leave my room. But yeah, this is just hot and spicy noodles, just really quick, something to get into my stomach really fast. I apologize for the chewing noises that I'm about to make. We'll see how long my makeup lasts. Or my lip color, I mean. Yep. Yep. Okay. I am not someone that can talk and chew at the same time. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so I want to give a trigger warning. Some of the books that I'm going to be talking about are very, very disturbing. Just really unsettling themes and content, which you might not find relaxing even though I'm whispering, so I just want to put that out there. I'm going to try to censor myself, so I'm sorry if that annoys some of you. By censor, I mean like saying stuff like he unalives himself, etc. Okay, I had to finish my ramen off camera because I just had to scarf it up. I was getting anxiety, like I was so hungry I had to like eat it now. But anyways, my lipstick came off. Okay, finally, 9,000 years later, we're gonna talk about some books that I've finished and that I'm currently reading. Again, trigger warning for disturbing content. The first one that I want to talk about is Cows by Matthew Stokoe. I don't have any of the physical books, so I'm just gonna put a picture. This was my first extreme horror book, and I really, really liked it. I give it a 10 out of 10. It's written very, very well. This book is about a guy in his mid-20s who still lives with his mom. They live in a very nasty apartment. She is constantly feeding him just globs of unknown meat. He is unemployed and gets a job at a slaughterhouse. And at this slaughterhouse, they do stuff to the cows. If you know what I mean. It is so gross. It is disgusting. But it is written very well. So they do this stuff to the cows, and then for horror books, and I have not been able to complete another horror book since I read this book. Actually, that is a lie. The next book that we're going to be talking about is Womb, Woom, by Duncan Ralston. This is, I think, a shorter book. I forgot how many pages it has, but it is basically this guy named Angel brings an escort to a hotel room. And in this hotel room, he basically starts recounting to her these disturbing things that have happened in this specific hotel room. This book has mentions of substances, SA. I'm not gonna spoil exactly what happens, but at the end of the book, the main character, Angel, finishes telling the escort all these stories, and he proceeds to be rebirthed. Take that as you will. Really traumatized main character. A lot of horrible things have happened to him. So that's the end of that. This next book is a taboo romance type of book. It's very smutty. And if I'm being honest, this book was so good, 10 out of 10, that I have not been able to complete another smutty book since this because it was so good and just nothing has compared. Credence by Penelope Douglas. This book is ridiculous. This one I finished a while ago, so if I don't get details correct, please don't come for me. It is about a girl whose parents die, and so she ends up going to Montana to live in an isolated cabin with her step-uncle and two step-cousins. This entire book is ridiculous, but I ate every second of it up. And this might be an unpopular opinion, but I love the guy that she ends up with. So maybe I should go to therapy for that, but yes, all three of them. I see a lot of discourse about this book online. People either love it or hate it. I personally love it. Now for books that I'm currently reading that I haven't finished. This one, I'm not sure if I'll even be able to finish it because it is so disturbing and it just makes me really uncomfortable, and I can only read a chapter at a time. But it's another, I guess, horror book, but it's based on a true story, and it is called Tampa by Alyssa Nutting. It is based on a true story of a teacher who preyed on her student. The author actually knew this woman. She went to school with her, I believe. I forgot what her name is, but it's based on a true story, and this book is basically written from the point of view of the teacher preying on her student, and it makes me nauseous. Anything involving kids just makes me sick, and to know that this is based on an actual case is just even more unsettling, and it's even more disturbing. I've read like 30% of it. I have it on Kindle. It's been months since I picked it up. Like, I want to say I started it in November, and I don't know if I'm going to read it. I read a chapter the other day, and I was like, nope, I don't have the stomach for it, so this might go on the DNF list, if I'm being honest. The next book that I'm reading, which I'm like 50% done with, is another smutty book. It is called Den of Vipers by K.A. Knight. This book is 700 pages anything similar on Wattpad or AO3. That's how cheesy it is. It's been, I've read again like over 350 pages and it has been nothing but smut. The world building is not there. It could do more with the plot and character development, but it doesn't. I do enjoy this book, but we're already halfway through, and it's like, okay, are we just gonna get 350 more pages of just smut? Like, I need more character development, I need more backstories, I need more drama, I need more tension. We are 350 pages in, and we still know almost nothing about the four main love interests. It's just, it could be better, but I have been enjoying it. Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. This is also another one I haven't picked up in a while. I like it, but I don't think I like it as much as other people do. This girl lives in a Victorian house where her grandma was murdered, and she is an author, and she holds a book signing event, and at this event she acquires a stalker who then proceeds to constantly break into her house, and I don't know how to feel about the main love interest. I don't know how to feel about the stalking. He's a vigilante, so he works against the government and works to expose predators, and it's just giving hypocrite. Okay, so I am back much later in the day. I didn't realize that my phone was on low battery, so I had to go charge it. And it got dark outside really fast. To continue where we left off, how are you going to be fighting against crime and then committing crimes against your supposed love interest? He stalks her, he has multiple cameras set up to watch her. I understand it's dark romance, and I know what the author was trying to do. I get the appeal. I just don't think that I'm a big fan of it as much as other people are. Again, I am going to finish this book, and I do enjoy it. I don't care for their entire relationship dynamic. I'm honestly more invested in the side quest that she's doing of trying to find out who killed her grandmother and why. The next book that I want to talk about is Fabric of Our Souls by K.M. Morova. The first page in itself is just a graphic description of self-harm. The main character tries to herself. She ends up going to this mental health rehab clinic where she meets an equally depressed and suicidal man. They begin sleeping together, and it's just somewhat of a toxic relationship. I'm only like 40% into this book. I am enjoying it so far, though. The first page is just a whole list of trigger warnings, so tread carefully. The last book that I'm going to talk about is a horror book that I'm currently reading. It's only 75 pages long. It's called No One Rides for Free by Judith Sonnet. This mom of two is in the middle of a road trip, and she stops at a gas station in the middle of the desert and leaves her two kids in the car. And when she comes back and starts driving, she notices that a man has snuck into the back seat of the car and is holding her son hostage with a gun to his head. And that's where I'm at so far. I've heard there is a major trigger warning for, again, that's the reason that I found out about this book is because through TikTok it was like a disturbing books that I've read videos, so we'll see.